Hey there, welcome. Thank you for being here today. I am Jenna, and today I'm going to do a full face using only products that I have either hit pan on or products that I've almost used up completely, that kind of thing. If I don't have anything that kind of fits in that specific realm, I'm just going to use the product that I've used, that I have the least amount left of in that category, if that makes sense. I do believe Shaaanxo has done this before. I haven't seen anybody else do it, but I could be completely wrong. So I thought I would give her credit for doing this. I saw it a long time ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was, but she has done this, and I saw it and thought it would be a really fun idea. So I kind of just banked it in here, and now we're doing it. So first thing I'm going to apply is a primer. This isn't technically a primer, but I do use this, the L'Oreal Age Perfect. I think this is just like a tinted, yeah, it's just a tinted moisturizer. It just gives a really beautiful glow to the skin. This one in particular has been discontinued, so you can't get it anymore. They do have other glowy sort of BB creams, just not that one in particular. But it just gives this really pretty glow, and it sits really well under makeup. It hydrates as well, which is nice because I'm dry. I don't know if you can really see the glow that it's given, but in real life it just gives like a nice, it doesn't look oily, it just looks glowy and healthy. And of course, I'm all about that. So for foundation, I'm actually going to use the DB Cosmetics Age Revive foundation. This is a little bit cool toned for me, kind of like the Flower Beauty one was last week. I just can't seem to find foundations that have the right undertones. When I'm super pale, I mean, this isn't super pale, believe it or not, but when I'm really pale, you can't really tell. It's kind of like my undertones don't come through as much. I just look pale. But then once I get a little bit of sun, the warm undertones seem to really come out. I don't even know if that's a thing. I say it is. So yeah, it is a little bit warm tone, cool toned for me. But it's okay. We shall make it work like we always do. Now, this foundation is probably, I would say that it's more of like a satin finish, maybe borderline luminous. It is a really nice foundation, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have used almost the whole bottle. This was kind of my introduction to more luminous foundations, because I started noticing as I hit 30, matte or even more satin finish foundations were not sitting quite as nice on my skin. I was starting to look a little bit older than what I actually, no, let's be honest, I was starting to look a lot older than what I actually am. And I probably saw it on a YouTube video somewhere along the way that using a more luminous foundation will camouflage signs of aging more than like a matte foundation would. So I decided I would get this, and honestly it was my favorite foundation for such a long time. Now next product I'm going to use is the Revlon Color Stay Concealer. I've had this for a really long time. This is in the shade Light Medium. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I think this is Light Sand. It's right here, Jenna. Yeah, Light Sand in this one. I've had this for a long time. It still works. I would say that it's probably medium coverage. So I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty sponge a little bit. I'm just going to apply a little bit more because I'm Looking pretty tired and haggard today. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that coverage. Okay, next, what are we going to use? I might set my face a little bit. The powder I'm using is the Hydra Set Translucent Loose Setting Powder from Designer Brands Cosmetics. This powder, at first I liked it, but now I'm not quite sure. It is just so powdery, and it's a translucent powder. I'll take some out of here. It's a translucent powder, but it looks white, and I've noticed that it settles into pores a little bit. Even if I use like a pore filling primer, it kind of just gathers on those areas after like an hour or something, maybe not even that. Now this one is meant to be it's meant to be a wet feeling powder, and the description is pretty, can you see that powder? The description is pretty accurate. It does feel wet on your fingers. It is such a weird texture. I'm not too sure if I like it, but it probably is the powder that I have the least amount left of. And I'm sure that's just because of the actual packet size. Don't breathe in, don't breathe in, don't breathe in. Okay, so I'll bring that down my neck as well. It hasn't settled into my pores yet, which is good. I'll see how it goes. One thing I will say though is it does blur. Like at the moment, my face is looking pretty blurred, especially here, but then once it kind of settles into your face, it doesn't look as blurred, unfortunately. And it does make me look a little bit powdery as well, but that can be fixed with setting spray. So that's certainly not a deal breaker in my eyes. All right, so now that I have set my face a little bit, I'm going to go into bronzer. So the bronzer that I'm using is, I've got a lot of Designer Brands here. Anyway, the bronzer I'm using is the Designer Brands Glow Get 'Em Bronzer. This one is definitely the one that I've used the most. I have certainly hit pan on this, as you can see. This is a nice bronzer. I do really like this one. With me, a lot of bronzers tend to come off really orange. It has to be to do with my skin tone, undertones, whatever, but a lot of bronzers just don't, they just look orange on me. This one doesn't do that. This one looks like a natural bronze. So I'm just going to put a little bit there, and we'll go up here as well. There we go. So do you see how it's just a really light bronze? I kind of want to go a bit harder with it, but I don't want it to look like I've got big bronze squares on my head. Okay, that's a bit better. And I'm just going to put some on my nose. Next, I'm going to go into blush. Again, man, I've had this for so long. This one here, so this is the Revlon powder blush. That's all it says, Revlon powder blush. This one is Melon Drama. I've literally had this for years, and this was the only blush that I used for such a long time. Such a long time. I used to love love this. I mean, I still do. It does have a slight bit of a sheen to it, but it's not luminous or anything like that, but it's not completely matte. What is going on with my hair right there? What are you doing? Sit down. Anyway, I haven't washed my hair in like 2 days, so it's just up because it's looking a bit like a hot mess. But anywho, all right, so that is it for blush. Now, highlighter. So I only have like 2 highlighters. I have a highlighting palette, which is this one, the L'Oreal La Vie Glow, which is my favorite highlighter of all time. Absolutely love it, adore it, would highly recommend it. But I also have, this was the first highlighter that I ever purchased. It's in a palette. So it's the Maybelline Master Contour kit. I've hit pan on the bronzer as well, but I just wanted to use that other bronzer. So technically this is probably what I've used the most of, but I didn't want to use this for my bronzer and my highlighter. So yeah, but the highlighter in this is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if the individual ones they do are the same. They don't look the same in the pan as this. If they haven't, which I don't think they have, they really need to make this its own, like an individual highlighter. And we'll just go here. So I had said in my last video that I typically don't use a lot of highlighter because it accentuates texture, and I prefer more of a glowy foundation. This doesn't accentuate texture too much, but once you put setting spray over it, and because I pat my setting spray in with a sponge anyway, it kind of takes that little bit of texture away. So I'm just putting this where I want a glow and where I would naturally get one anyway, so it doesn't look completely weird. Cool. All right, if you are just starting out with bronzer or contouring and everything like that, and you just want like an all-in-one palette, this one is really, really good. I used this and pretty much only this for a really long time. So very, very good product. I highly recommend. Okay, so now moving on to, should I do brows? Yeah, I might do brows first. So I've got a couple of brow products that I'm going to use. The first one is the Designer Brands, again, Absolute Brow Pencil. This one, it's literally on its last legs. Look, that I can't wind that up anymore. That's literally all I've got left on this pencil. So this is very, very well used. This one I tend to use on my more natural makeup days or minimal makeup days. It is in the shade, this is Taupe, I believe it is. It's a triangular tip. Again, I don't know if you can even see that. I prefer just like a micro tip or a regular, like, you know what I mean. I just can't seem to get a good enough point on the end of my eyebrows with it. And I mean, we all know from our last video, if you watched it, I need all the help I can get when it comes to brows because I'm terrible at them. This is more of a waxy formula, which probably sounds bad, but it stays really well. It does have good staying power. It's not really going to go anywhere throughout the day. So yeah, it is a good product. Now this, because I'm right on the end of it, it is starting to dry out slightly. It's just getting a little bit difficult to apply it. I won't repurchase this straight away, only because I have about a million. Oh my God, Jenna. I have about a million other brow products that I want to try first. And I've already got like 4 other pencils. The other product I'm going to use in my brows is just a brow gel. It's the Milani Easy Brow Tinted Fiber Gel. So this does actually have little fibers in it to make your brows look a little bit fluffier. I don't know if you can actually see the fibers there in it. This is actually a good brow gel. It does set them down nicely. It does add some color. The brush isn't enormous. So if you have pretty fine brows like me, then this one is pretty good, because you're not going to end up getting it everywhere. I will repurchase this again. I have about 2 others that are kind of on my wish list next, but I definitely will, because it's a good shade. It's oh, I forgot to do my little trick with my, now that I've said it, damn it. Let's see if it'll still work. Is this okay? Oh yeah, it still kind of works. Rounded, squared. Anyway, I am actually going to put a eye primer on today, because I have one. It's the LA Girl Pro Primer, HD eyeshadow primer. It is a stick primer. I have been using this a little bit recently, just to sort of see whether I do like it or not. It is nice. Because it's in a stick form, I find that it dries down better than some potted ones do. It doesn't really cancel out veins or anything like that, but I mean, I'm not using a heap of it anyway, which I don't think you're supposed to, but it does keep your eyeshadow on there longer, and it does actually help with creasing. I still notice a little bit of creasing when I use that, because I just haven't found an eyeshadow primer that will stop creasing on me. I have hooded eyes, so pretty much everything creases on me anyway. Now, the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use is the J.Cat Take Me Away Secret Paradise palette. This is the actual palette, or color story, or colorway, however you want to say it. So what I might do is just zoom you in a little bit so I can show you what I'm actually doing with my eyes. What I'm going to go into first is I might just go into Soft Sand, which is this one here. It's just like a neutral sort of brown, just to lay down a bit of a color first. Now I've just sort of put that all over the lid. I might bring it up slightly higher, actually. So now, this could go terribly wrong, but I'm going to go into this orange called Beach Bum all over the lid. We'll see how we go. There is another one of these palettes that I want to try. It's a more neutral one. Like, this does have neutral shades in it as well, but the other one just has a lot more of them and a lot more variations of them as well. So add that one to my list. I've got so many. So this is kind of coming off a little bit more yellowy on my eyes. I'm only putting a very light amount on here because I don't want it to look super, super orange. On camera it's looking more true to how it looks in the pan, but in real life it's not quite as dark as it looks on camera. So the bronzy shade I'm going to put, or the shimmer, is this one called VIP Treats. VIP Treats? Yeah. So I'm just going to take it on my finger and just tap it on there. If you are somebody who has like wrinkly eyelids, just go a little bit lighter with your shimmers. I have a tendency to really pack them on, and they kind of they can start to look weird. They can start to kind of bunch up a little bit and just accentuate the texture on your lids. So maybe if you have that issue, just start off with a lighter hand and then build it up if you need to, would be my advice. I am going to blend this out as well. I'm not just going to leave it as is. I'm just going to take the same fluffy brush. I cannot say brush today. Same fluffy brush that I used to apply the other two shades. And I'm just going to sort of blend that into my crease a little bit, just so I don't have any harsh lines from where I applied the shimmer. I want it to kind of blend into the matte shade. Now I'm going to use this dark brown called Lazy Day. I feel like that's not layering very well. Like it's really not, it could be the brush I'm using. That's slightly better. You just really need to like pack the brush on. Cool. And again, I'm going to take that same fluffy brush that I used for everything else, and I'm just going to blend it in a little bit. I haven't used this eyeshadow palette in a long time, so I used to really love it, but now, I mean, the shimmers are still beautiful, but I just kind of feel like it all just kind of fluffs away once you start blending, which it shouldn't be doing. Eyeshadows shouldn't just blend away when you blend them. They shouldn't be, I mean, they need to be blendable, but they shouldn't be that blendable that they just kind of fluff away. But it doesn't matter, you can just layer it up anyway, it's not a problem. So that's what I've done there. I've just sort of layered it up a little bit, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to go underneath the eye. I haven't actually loaded this brush up anymore. I'm just going to take the excess underneath my eye because there's still some on there, as you can see. I'm going to just take a little bit of that Beach Bum, the orange shade, just like a little tap, and I'm going to use it to blend out underneath. I'm going to go right sort of in the inner corner with it. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, I'm going to take Sweet Mood, which is this guy here, and I'm just going to put that on the inner corner and see how that looks. That brush is not doing it. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So that is my eyes done. I'll obviously have to put mascara and everything on. I'm just going to zoom you back out. Okay, so I might just do setting spray first, and then I will curl my eyelashes. So the setting spray I'm using is the Maybelline Master Fix. This is supposed to extend the wear time of your makeup. I find it does do that. It does a pretty good job. It's not like gonna make it last for 14 hours or anything like that, but it is nice. It's not a luminous finish, it's just kind of like a matte type of finish. The mister on it is pretty intense, so be aware of that. Just taking my beauty sponge and tapping it all over. I'm now going to curl my lashes off camera as usual, and I will be back to apply mascara. Alright, I am back with my eyelashes curled. Now, another Designer Brands Cosmetics. This is the Amazing Volume Mascara. This is okay. I have since found other mascaras that are better than this, but it's okay. It is a water resistant formula, which I tend to prefer. It does give a little bit of volume, like at the base, at the roots of my lashes. So my camera cut out while I was in the middle of talking about this mascara. So it's okay. I tend to layer it on top of other mascaras because it just kind of makes it a little bit more water resistant. Of course, it's not going to make it completely water resistant because you're mixing it with another mascara, but it's nice. Now, final thing we're going to do is apply some lipstick. So the lipstick, this one was a little bit difficult because the lipstick I've actually used the most is this one. So it is like so orange. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful shade, but it just isn't going to go with this look. So I am going to have to break the rules slightly because I don't want to look ridiculous. So the second most used lipstick is actually from Raw Cosmetics. This is actually the Coconut Kiss lipstick in the shade Angelic Almond. I'm not going to line my lips because I don't tend to do that anyway. I am going to apply the Lip Boost plumping treatment to it. It doesn't necessarily need it because this is a moisturizing lipstick anyway, but I really like this gloss. So this is the finished look. I wonder if I should take my hair out again. I haven't done anything with it and it's filthy, but we'll give it a go, eh? All right, that'll do. This is the finished look. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That does really help me out a lot. Subscribe if you want to as well. But yes, this is it from me. This is it. Wow. Thank you again for joining me today, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.